What's up, Zombie Talk 123? Big news a few days ago. It was kind of the owner, McLean, approved a move for the Houston Astros to the AL West. So both the Texas teams will be in the AL, and plus, all six divisions will have an equal amount of teams. As you know, the West has four teams. It will now have five teams. Every division will have five teams now. So this changes the NL Central. It has one less team. Not that the Astros will be making a difference in the next year or two anyway, but maybe in a few years when the prospects come up, supposedly the good prospects that Ed Wade traded for. But I can't really trust Ed Wade at this point. I know he must have, he helped the Phillies, but, you know, this is a guy who probably should be fired. And he probably should have been fired a few years ago, in my opinion, and I think in a lot of other people's opinions. So the Astros have not finished better than third in like many years. You remember their glory days. Remember the Brad Lidge. Remember 2005 making the World Series. They were tough. They were tough in the early 2000s, but they've really fell off the ladder here. They've had to trade Hunter Pence. They've had to trade Michael Bourne. They've had to trade pretty much every all-star or a really good player on their team and pretty much rebuild their team. And I'm not saying don't trade Hunter Pence. You lost 55 games. I mean, you lost 100 something games last year. Worst record in baseball. If you're able to get very good prospects from the best team in baseball, that is desperate for those guys and really would need and really would use them in the correct ways, then go for it. Trade them. I'm not saying that they didn't go for the right deals. They should have traded them. All I'm saying is that they've been forced to give up their best players, just like the Pittsburgh Pirates. But the Pirates seems like they give up their best players every year. Seems like they're always in a rebuilding stage. The Houston Astros finally realized they need to rebuild. They are in a rebuilding stage. And they have the worst record in baseball this year, which means they get the #1 draft pick next year. So that's pretty much the only positive that comes out of that. And maybe a few managers and things getting fired if you don't like them. And some of your favorite players probably getting traded. That's never good. But, they did get some good prospects, some high-risk reward prospects. Jonathan Singleton. And I remember when they got Brett Wallace, I think Astro fans were expecting him to be really good. I expect him to be really good. He's the main piece that we gave up for Matt Holliday, the Cardinals. And, to be honest, we didn't really need him. Yeah, we struggled third base for like a year and a half, but, he wasn't really a third baseman. He was definitely more a first baseman. He played first base for the Astros so far, and we have Albert Pujols. So we have Lance Berkman to back him up there. So we don't need Brett Wallace. All we got out of that was basically giving up Clayton Mortensen, Brett Wallace. That's not that much at this point of what he's produced. He still could be a very good major leaguer as he was projected to be. And we've been able to have Matt Holliday for 2.5 years. So definitely a good trade there. And for the Astros, they traded with was it the Jays or was it with Oakland? I remember Oakland traded with the Blue Jays, and they traded let's see here. Was it Michael Taylor and someone else? And then I remember Brett Wallace was somewhere in there. But Brett Wallace it's a disappointment, definitely, to see him struggle at first base when he was supposed to be the Astros' first baseman for the future when they got him to kind of replace Lance Berkman. He has not done that. I would give him next year. And then past that, you're going to see Jonathan Singleton there. So the Astros have definitely improved their farm system over the last year and a half by trading these guys, but I think it could have been better, and I think Ed Wade definitely has to go. I think there's no question about it. I'll let him have one more year to see if he can help rebuild his team. And this ownership must really believe that he's doing the right things and he's doing everything he can to help this team win. But it seems like every fan just thinks he's doing the opposite. So we'll see how he's doing. I'm sure management have really smart guys. So if he was doing the wrong things, they would probably be firing him. So there's obviously some reasons why he hasn't been fired yet. But the main thing is the Astros are getting a new owner. And Jim Crane's coming in here, and really, they got $70 million to pretty much move to the AL. So, their owner got $70 million to move to the AL, which is not bad at all. So now this will even out the divisions. I like the move personally. I think it's good to even out all the divisions. I think the Central looked kind of crowded. You got 6 teams to worry about, and the West you only have 4. So I think this is a good move again. I think it'll be good to have two teams, two Texas teams in the same division. I think Texas can root for, either or. But for right now, I think they'll be rooting for the Rangers for a while because, I mean, the Rangers, I think, will have the next kind of dynasty. I think if you're looking for the next Phillies, I would look at the Rangers. I would look at really, I mean, I think the Rangers are the team to beat right now. I really do. I think it was very disappointing, obviously, World Series. And, I mean, you could say it was luck by the Cardinals, but they had to hit the ball. They had to play good, and they were a great team towards the end of the year. And, they had the talent all year, but they really turned on the end of the year. So you can say whatever you want about the Cardinals not deserving it, and I'm not going to disagree with you. I think the Rangers deserve this just about as much as anyone, but the Cardinals went through so many injuries all year. I mean, anytime you have Matt Holliday as your cleanup hitter and only get 70 RBIs out of him, and Albert Pujols not bat 300 and not get 30 home runs and not get 100 RBIs, and having Adam Wainwright gone all year, and I mean, for all of that to happen, and then all these other injuries, I mean, you have no idea how many times like Nick Punto, other guys like that get injured. It was such a frustrating season. And for it to end like that was absolutely magical. It was I can't even describe the emotions that I went through. So I was looking to 2012 and the 2011 offseason, and it'd be very different if we didn't win the World Series, I'll tell you that. It would have been, if we didn't make the playoffs, which, we barely got in, it would have been 5 years without winning a playoff game. And this is the St. Louis Cardinals with Albert Pujols, with Matt Holliday, with Chris Carpenter, with Adam Wainwright. You can't waste those resources and not win. And that's what a lot of columnists were saying, where, you can't waste Albert Pujols for all these years and not win since 2006. And we did it, it was an amazing thing. And you see kind of the Cardinals of the future, just like you see kind of the Rangers of the future, just like you see some of the Astros of the future. And I think the Astros can be good in a few years. They just really need to make every right move possible. They need to really put a lot of money into scouting, developing, not make stupid trades. And they really, if they're going to rebuild, you need to rebuild. You need to trade your good players that are veterans like they did last year. Hunter Pence was controlled a few years. Michael Bourne from controlled a few years. But I think they got some talent out there. Jordan Schaefer, if he lives up to his full potential, which he hasn't in his career yet, he's a really solid center field option. Brett Walsh hasn't worked out yet. Johnson Singleton might work out. They got some good prospects in the Hunter Pence deal. So I'm not saying that was not a good deal, but looking at the deal that the Rockies got for Ubaldo Jimenez, who was a better pitcher, it was a great pitcher and more cost control than Hunter Pence. I can understand why he got a lot more than Hunter Pence, but the Rockies got a huge haul for Ubaldo Jimenez, who might not even pitch as good as a number 2 starter next year. So we'll see. I get off topic a lot. I'm still thinking about the Astros, just not talking about it. Don't worry about that though. But the Astros, I mean, they do have the first pick in the draft. So is there anything to be excited about? If this is exciting, your move to the AL West, it probably just means it's going to get harder because the Mariners are getting better. The A's, I mean, I was thinking the A's were getting better in the beginning of the season, but they had a bad season. They could still get better. I mean, they got all these free agents last year. You're thinking, wow, they actually might win. You know what I mean? They got Josh Hamilton. I mean, not Josh Hamilton. They finished 500 the year before, or game over or something like that. They get Josh Willingham. They get David DeJesus. They get, Coco Crisp. They have Trevor Cahill, who won 18 games the year before and started off like a Cy Young candidate. I don't know what happened to him. They got Gio Gonzalez. They got, Brett Anderson. All these young guys and, injuries and just not playing well. And then look where they are, They did not have a good year at all, and I think that Billy Beane expected a lot more this year. And, hey, if they did better, it might have helped the ticket sales for Moneyball. Who knows? But Moneyball is a great movie, by the way. I would see any baseball fan, I would see that movie. But the Astros moving to the AL West, comment below what you think about it. There were some other moves, They're adding 2 more playoff teams. I don't know how the format of that's going to be. Maybe less regular season games. 1-game playoffs decide the ultimate wild card. I mean, I really don't know how they're going to do this playoff thing. I really just don't know. But again, I don't know. Maybe the best team gets a bye the first round. That doesn't seem right, but who knows? I guess it makes it more fair for the best regular season team. Makes you have more motive to be the best regular season team. Because sometimes the best regular season team does not get the home field advantage because of the All-Star game. So I think that could make it up a little bit. If the best regular season team got a bye in the first round. But then again, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they do it. New collective bargaining agreement. It's agreed today. It will be announced Monday. Two new wildcard teams. The Astros are moving to the ALS. All these things are happening. Cubs hire a new manager. Red Sox are looking at Bobby Valentine. A lot of things happening here. MLB is busy all the time here right now. And this is not even the winter meetings. This is GM meetings where not too many trades or free agent signs are happening. But Jared Laird and a few others today, Jose Molina. But at the same time, it's crazy within the organization of MLB. It's crazy within that, but not too crazy within agents and trades and things like that. So thanks for watching again. This is MLB Talk 123 here. Comment below if you like this move or not, or what do you think, and how they're going to do this here, and how they're going to do it in the AL West. But if you're looking at it, just gives the Rangers and the Angels another AL West team where they play more. And if anything, it's going to be harder for the Astros. I mean, the American League can be a lot harder to play than the National League. Can be a lot harder to pitch in. The Astros will get a DH if that helps any players. And maybe Brett Walsh your DH if he can hit, and you put Jonathan Singleton at first. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking of options. There's a lot of options out there. Thanks for watching again. This is Zombie Talk 123. Sorry I kind of got off topic. I do that a lot. But again, the Houston Astros are realigned here. It's agreed. They're moving to the American League West. I believe it's in 2013. I don't think it's in 2012, but if it is, I mean, good for them, I guess. Thanks for watching again. This is Zombie Talk 123.